Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to get past the fear of perfectionism, the thing that we put in front of ourselves we call perfectionism, being a perfectionist, as you see. So if you like this episode and you want more videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And then right next to that subscribe button, there's a little bell. If you hit the bell, you'll actually get a quick notification that'll pop up and tell you each time a new video pops up. So today we're going to be talking about how to get past your perfectionism. If you're a perfectionist, you're like, well, no, I really want to do this, but I'm a perfectionist. Everybody in the world is a quote-unquote perfectionist. And I'm going to give you 3 questions to ask yourself to get past this fear. It's because it's really a fear. Get past this perfectionism that you hold that's keeping you back from being what you want to be. Before I dive into those questions, though, I want to talk to you about what perfectionism is. Perfectionism is not real. Perfectionism is fake. Perfectionism is a mask that you are wearing that is masking some sort of fear. Maybe it's the fear of judgment, or the fear of failure, or the fear of success, or the fear of whatever the unknown, what happens, right? And so you keep telling yourself you're a perfectionist because you're saying, I'm not ready yet. Oh no, this podcast I want to make, it's not ready yet. It's not perfect. I'm a perfectionist. And then your friends ask you, hey, I heard you're going to launch a podcast. How's that podcast going? Oh, well, I've been working on it, but I just don't have it down yet. I'm trying to make it as good as I possibly can. That's just me. I'm a perfectionist, right? And that's the mask that you're wearing for this BS mask that you're wearing for this fear that's really holding you back. The fear of judgment or failure or success or the unknown, the fear of people looking at you funny, whatever it is, right? Perfectionism is not real. You need to be real with yourself and say, perfectionism is not real. What is my fear that is actually holding me back? Right? Perfectionism is not real. That's the first thing that you need to get into your head and realize, holy crap, this guy might be right. There's something else that's really holding me back. Because if you were creating this podcast and you were just creating the podcast and nobody would ever listen to it, you would get episodes done so quick, right? Because the fact that no one's ever going to listen to it, you're not going to be judged. You're not going to fail. You don't have the unknown. So there's no reason to worry about something being perfect. If you're a painter, right? They say that perfectionism is the enemy of creators. Perfectionism is the enemy of artists, right? Maybe you're a really good painter, but you haven't shown anybody yet because it's not perfect. It's close, but it's not perfect. Guess what? It will never be perfect. Perfectionism, something being perfect, is impossible. It is impossible for anything to be perfect. We are imperfect beings creating other imperfect things. To say that you're waiting for it to be perfect is incorrect. It will never be perfect. So what I want you to realize is this phrase. Remember this phrase. Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. To get something done is going to help you get to where you want to go. Because when you finish it and then you can work on the next thing, you get better. And when you finish it and you work on the next thing, you get better. Right? So if you think, for instance, my podcast, I have over 430 episodes of the podcast. If I would have just kept working on episode number 1, I would have never improved and found my voice and figured out what I like and what other people like. Because I would have never even released episode 1. And then episode 2, I got a little bit better and better and better and better. And I started to realize what I like, what people like, and I started to find my voice through it, right? Getting an episode done is better than trying to get an episode perfect. Here's the other crazy thing is that you'll start to realize is that people don't like perfection. The thing about my podcast that people love, of what I've been told, is that I don't edit anything out. I don't edit out the coughs. I don't edit out the ums and uhs. I've knocked stuff over in the middle of them, and I've just kept it going. And I make fun of myself when I mess up words because people love authenticity. There's so many fake plastic things out in the world that sometimes people just want to listen to or look at a painting or listen to a podcast that's imperfect because they go, you know what? Me too. I'm imperfect. And this imperfection is also making me realize that I'm imperfect. But this painting that I'm looking at, it's beautiful. It's imperfect. But I can create stuff too then, because I would never be able to make something perfect. I'm an imperfect being. This podcast episode, I want to create a podcast, but this thing is so highly produced. I can never make something like that, right? The more the less produced it is, the more authentic it is. And the more people go, you know what, me too, I could create that. And so these are the 3 questions you want to ask yourself to get past your perfectionism. And it's best if you take these questions, you write them down with a pen and paper, and then force yourself to answer them with a pen and paper as well. So question number 1, this perfectionism, what is it masking? What is the real fear behind this perfectionism that it is masking? That's question number 1. What is the real fear? What is it masking? Because perfectionism doesn't exist. It's something that you've made up. What is the actual fear behind it? Question number 2, why do I fear that? Why is it that I fear that? You know, it might be, the answer to number 1 might be judgment. That might be what the mask of perfectionism is. I'm masking perfectionism. I'm putting it over this fear of judgment, right? And then I ask myself, why do I fear judgment? You start thinking to yourself, maybe I fear judgment because I remember when I was judged and made fun of and bullied as a kid. Right? Am I still going to allow those events and things that happened to me when I was younger hold me back from doing the one freaking thing that I want to do, like becoming a painter or becoming a podcaster or putting my videos up on Facebook or YouTube or social media or being a blogger or writing a book, right? If you continue writing a book and you want to make it perfect, it will never be released. So why do I fear that judgment? You start thinking back, go, damn. Being bullied as a kid or being judged as a kid is still holding me back at 32 years old. Maybe I should figure out a way to get past that, right? And the third question that you ask yourself is, what is the worst that could happen? You know, if I want to be a podcaster and I'm afraid of putting it out there, I'm calling myself a perfectionist because I'm afraid of being judged. And then I figure out, question number 2, why do I fear that? I fear it because of the fact that I was bullied as a kid. Number 3, what's the worst that could happen if I put out an imperfect podcast episode? The worst that could happen, maybe somebody sends me an email that says you suck. Maybe somebody makes fun of me, right? Well, then that's an insecurity that I need to get past if it bothers me. So if somebody makes fun of me, who the hell cares? Nothing in my physical world changes if somebody makes fun of me. No big deal. Brush it off, get on with your life. And that's what you have to realize. What's the worst that could happen? Will you die if somebody judges you? No. And so your brain goes, okay, I have this fear of judgment. The reason why we have fears is because we're trying to stay alive. And your brain goes, the fear of judgment. If I have this fear of judgment, will I die? No, I won't. So should I hold on to this fear? No, I probably shouldn't. And eventually you start to get past this fear of judgment because you realize, not a big deal. No matter what you do, there's going to be haters. No matter what you do, you're going to be judged. So you might as well freaking do it anyways, instead of just sitting back and holding yourself back from what it is that you really want to do. So that is why perfectionism is fake. And that is how you get past perfectionism. So if you like this episode and you want some more videos and you want to get notified every single time that I put a new episode out, hit that subscribe button that's down the bottom, and then right next to it, after you hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell, and it will send you a notification. It'll just pop up and say, Rob Dial put up a new video, and you can watch them every single week when I put out multiple ones each week.